Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. I have been flying this around for a couple of weeks now. This is the Aurora 68 brushless quad, and you know, as much as I like it, one of the things that I've been noticing is that for my purpose, which is mainly to fly it indoors, it's just a little bit too heavy, a little bit too tall, and it's too fast, if I'm honest. So flying it around a small apartment is a little difficult, I think, because it's a little bit bigger than a whoop and all that, and heavy. It just feels very different. It feels like you have to fly it much faster to really feel, to make it feel as good in handling as a whoop would feel. So what I've decided is I want to make some mods to this, and so in this video I'm just going to take this away and make a few of the mods that I'm thinking about, and then I'll tell you about those. And I think that my hope is if I'm able to make the mods I like, and it looks good and it performs better, that I can share that with you guys, and hopefully you can make those mods yourself, especially if you're thinking about buying one of these to fly indoors. Now, what complicates matters is, as you know, Eachine just came out with a brand new model, which is the Dust X58, which is even smaller than this. It's, instead of 68 millimeters motor to motor, it's 58 millimeters motor to motor, and it is less than half the weight. So if you're thinking about getting one just out of the box, that one might be for you. But one of the things that this has an advantage over that one is that this model has OSD and more powerful motors, so it should be able to withstand outside a little bit better if you want to fly it both indoors and outdoors. So like I said, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and make some modifications to this. I don't want to do a step-by-step, but I will tell you about all the things I did after the fact. And the reason I don't want to do a step-by-step and I'm not doing it in front of the camera is because I don't know all the mods that are going to work out. So first I'm going to do what I can, see what works out, and then I'm going to show you the results and tell you how it performed after the mods. So hopefully that helps you. Stay tuned for the mods, and I'll be back with those. Alright guys, I'm back, and as you can see, I have made the mods that I said I was going to, or rather, that I hinted at in the last bit of video. So, just a quick note, I have some allergies right now, so my voice is a little hoarse, and I might be gulping down some water so that I can keep talking, because allergies, get me around this time of year. All right, in any case, I'm kind of happy how this turned out. I wasn't sure I was going to be able to do everything I wanted to, but I did, and I think it's awesome. So I'm going to call this some must-do mods, because I think that they're super helpful to make this an even better little machine. So, like I said, I wanted to fly this inside. That's my main purpose for getting this particular one instead of the Aurora 90 or 100 or our Fun 90 and others that are out there that are similar in size and similarly priced, though a little bigger. This one happens to be one of the smallest, besides the Dust X58, which just came out. And the great thing about this one is because it's a bit bigger and a lot more powerful. So even after all of this, and I'll talk you through the mods, even after all this, it's still a bit too fast to fly indoors. I have upped the expo on throttle, because I think any kind of tiny bump in power, this thing flies. This thing is crazy fast. So the first thing I wanted to do is talk to you about what I did. And you probably saw through the pictures some of the changes that I made, because I'm going to put the pictures in the video so you'll see them. And some of the changes that I made that have improved the performance and looks and everything, at least in my opinion, of this. So the first thing you're going to notice that's the most obvious is that I removed the clover leaf and the clover leaf protectors that went right here. And the reason I did that is because, first of all, they add weight. They're because they're pretty heavy for what this is. And because I'm flying this indoors, and really, you know, any kind of tiny little guy like this, you're not going to fly at huge range anyway. Even these little receivers don't give you the greatest range in the first place. So because of that, I figured, you know, I don't need a clover leaf. I'm going to fly it indoors or close by. So a whip antenna is going to be helpful. So as you can see, what I did is I unsoldered the back of the antenna right from here. Oh, sorry. I guess you couldn't see there. And so the back of the antenna. Let's see, will it focus? Well, okay, there you go. So the back of the antenna right there, and soldered on this nice little whip antenna that I got from one of the Bolt Clash cameras. And the Bolt Clash camera that's out there, the Bolt Clash 01 is right around this same size. Sorry again, the allergies. Is right around the same size. So if you wanted to, you could probably just do a direct swap. The only thing is that, as far as I know, the Bolt Clash does not have an OSD included, and you'd have to solder on this lead to that camera if you wanted to just do the very quick direct mod. I chose to just change the antenna, because when you get the Bolt Clash 01, or really any of the Bolt Clash cameras, they send you these extra antennas because they know it's a fragile part, you might break it. So what I did is I took that out, and in fact I did a couple of other things to save weight, because I think one of the most important things to do with these is to reduce the weight as much as you can. With micros, weight, every gram really matters, and I guess you could argue that for any kind of quadcopter, but I think with micros, because of their size and because of the payloads that they're trying to carry, you really want to cut as much weight down as you can to make it even better. So what I did was I took the wrap that it came with, the shrink wrap, heat shrink, and cut it off and added much thinner heat shrink so that it would really cut down on the weight, but also improve the strength, because this is actually stronger when it's that thin structurally than the bigger one. And then I added some down here so that there's no stress there when you crash. And sorry, I keep pointing the camera the wrong way. Again, allergies kind of out of it. My apologies. I probably say that a bunch of times today, so just I apologize in advance for all the apologies. But in any case, it was great. So this camera by itself, when you get it, it weighs right around 4 grams, a little bit less than 4 grams as it comes. And removing that, and I'll put a picture up of what I did in the video too, you'll see that it reduced that by about half a gram. So just the antenna mod, you get half a gram right there. That's not bad. So step one. Step two is, once you do that, you don't really need these, up here, these tall sort of antenna guards, which are these, which go right here, because they're just heavy. And if you look at them, they're actually thicker than the base plate of the thing. So they weigh a lot. I think these and the 2 screws saved me another gram or so, just right there, which is, again, not bad. And what I found was that by subtracting those, you make this a lot more low profile. So what I also did is moved the camera mount from the holes up here at the top, down to this one at the bottom. And because if you remove these, you're taking away some of the spacing there for the screws. I did have to add a couple of nylon washers, which weigh almost nothing. So I sacrificed some weight there in order to get rid of these, which weigh a lot more. You could cut these, you could do other things, but what's the point? So I'm keeping them, but it helped there, and it helped reduce some weight. The other thing that I did is that because of that, I was able to lower this a lot more, like you can see here. So this is a lot more low profile. Now, if you look at this with that on, that's like almost half the height taken down, because this thing is about as tall as the quadcopter itself, right about. So if you take that, if you take that off right there, that gives you a good amount of clearance here to make this low profile. And what I did notice when flying it is not only did the weight savings matter, but aerodynamically it felt like it had just a tiny bit less drag. And again, not a ton, not scientific what I'm talking about here, but enough that I felt the difference. And I remember before, one of the things that would frustrate me about this particular quadcopter, and I've heard other people have the same experience with the Q90, is that if you crash, it would almost always land upside down. Without these, it recovers so much better. I feel like it's not as top heavy because the camera is much lower to the center of weight, and these and that and everything would make it a lot more prone to do one of these things and want to overcorrect and stuff. But what I did was I by doing that, I have really found it to be a lot more able to withstand bumps and also not flip. So that's been helpful. That's been really, really nice. It's one of the biggest things. What I did have to do in order to do that is move the the receiver, the FrSky receiver from down there and moved it to the side, which also helps with the reception, because as you guys know, with it being down there, the antenna goes out this way, and it's blocked by the ducts, it's blocked by a lot of things. So people talk about brownouts, people talk about a lot of other issues with it without that, but I found that helps. So by moving it to the side, I found I got a lot better reception, and I found that it really helped, with things not getting in the way as much. It's not hidden by the battery as much. When you're flying, it's basically going to be straight to you. With antennas, you want them to be sort of parallel with your plane. So by doing it this way, it's parallel this way when you're flying fast. So that's pretty cool. Oh yeah, and I should say, you can still adjust the angle. Right now I have it like this because I'm flying indoors, like I mentioned, and I'm flying in angle mode most of the time because it's helpful for indoors, especially with something this fast. But you can adjust the angle, and so that already is helpful for the antenna to get some great reception and not a lot of stuff getting in the way for both. I also then had to move the beeper back here a little bit, which is not a big deal, but it sounds a little louder because it's not hidden by as much stuff. Not by much. Again, it's just all minor. Yeah. So what else? What else did I do? So removing that. Oh yeah, of course. I removed the LED, and the reason for that is twofold. One, save some weight. It doesn't weigh very much. Again, less than a gram, but enough that I think if you remove it, you save just a little bit more weight, which adds to your speed, your handling, etc. And then secondly, one of the complaints a lot of people have had is that with the FrSky receiver, you would get these brownouts. And I think partly is because anything that takes up power, obviously the OSD, the camera, the receiver, is all going to be draining from the same source. And so if you get a lot of these voltage lags, you're going to suffer some brownouts. taking this off, I haven't experienced a single brownout. So even just doing this mod, taking that off, might save you some trouble with this crashing and people complaining about the durability. Oh, and by the way, I've crashed this so much, it's kind of shameful. I've crashed this into my apartment so much that I'm kind of worried that I'm gonna end up leaving a bunch of black marks on the on the walls. Haven't yet, but man, it's been a too fast, too furious situation over here. In any case, I did make a mistake by pulling this off a little bit too vigorously, and I was trying to be careful, but this thing was stuck right in there. So broke that off. I found that it still works even with that, and I don't plan on using it too much. Might use it if I ever fly late night or outdoors, and I want to be able to see it at night if I lose it, but I doubt I'll be flying this one in that situation too much. So took it off. That saved me some weight. So in grand total, I think I saved about 3.5 grams. Could be mistaken. And I'll put pictures of this right after this, so you'll get to see exactly how much it weighed before I started and after I started. Because I think it really did make a difference. And lastly, this battery. So I don't think this is the greatest battery out there. I'm still looking for good substitutes. I found a few others that have a higher C rating that I might be trying. And the only problem with those that I found that are slim, small, and light, like this one, and by slim I mean this way, because I think you don't want to block too much of the airflow or you will start messing with your performance. So I found a bunch of them, but most of them come with micro loci connectors, and I feel like for something this small, you might not have that big of an issue by doing that. All right, so I added the Sugru. I'll put a link to this in the description to this again. I think Banggood does sell some much cheaper than the original Sugru, and I think it's about the same because it's just moldable rubber. It's very helpful. I haven't had any breakages yet, and I have crashed this, like I said, a lot. So hopefully that means that it's helping at least buffer the impact a little bit because it is rubber. It doesn't weigh very much too. It's kind of porous in the inside, so it didn't add a lot of weight. But I think it adds a little bit of structural support. And again, this thing is solid. This thing is pretty nice. So all in all, at the beginning when I first started, this thing I think weighed something like 54 grams at the lightest. And now it weighs 47 and a half or 48. So pretty happy with the results. And sorry, I keep moving the quadcopter in a way so you can't really see it. But yeah, I will probably put a very, very bad flight video at the end of this. Probably one of my worst flight videos ever for a couple of reasons. Because it was my maiden flight after all the mods. And also because this camera that's one complaint I have, is that it is probably one of the worst cameras I've seen when it comes to light adjustment. So that is one thing to note. If I'm able to add OSD or video in to the Eachine EF2 or F2, I'm probably going to do that because that one is amazing. That camera is, again, always impressed by it. It's a little bit bigger, so I'll try to find a way to mount it there. But I might replace this one with that one because if I'm flying this inside, and as you can probably see, my windows on that side are pretty bright, and over there it's a little bit darker. If I'm flying it inside, the light transition for this is awful. Just not great. It's still flyable, but not the best, especially if you're going really fast. And this thing zooms. This thing is one of the fastest little quads I've ever flown. I think it's actually probably comparable to, at least in terms of feeling, comparable to one of my 250 sized quads when I fly it outside. So yeah, I'm in love with this thing. I've really appreciated it. Might do a few more things. If the frame ever breaks, might try a different frame. But for now, this thing has been pretty awesome. I wish there was more I could do to lighten it. Again, I lightened it quite a bit for what it is. As a percentage of its weight, I think, it's a good 5 to 8% drop, which is nice. The battery is one limitation because the battery is always going to be pretty heavy. I think this one's about 20 something grams. But if I could make this lighter, I would. It's already a beast. I sort of wish they came out with some even lighter prop guards, even if they were flexible and hit the propellers a little bit, because I think for me, weight is the biggest issue with this one to fly indoors. But yeah, so those are my mods. I really highly recommend doing them. I will put a link in the description to the few things I used, to the quadcopter, and to other things you might find helpful, including some of the batteries that I found that I think might work but have different connectors, or even JST. If you're thinking about getting different batteries, you can see this one's pretty beat up because I've been using it a lot. And again, I'm ashamed of the fight video you're going to see, but I'll put it there anyway so you can check out just how ridiculously fast it is. In any case, thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate your support. All the links that I post on my videos, I'm really upfront about it. They're my affiliate links. If you click on them and you see something on the site that you like, on Banggood, which is where I bought this particular one, for example, if you click on something you like, if it's something you like that you need, and you buy it, it helps me out. It helps me create more content for you. It helps me keep you informed of things that I find useful, and hopefully you can find useful too. It helps me keep making these videos and content. So any questions, anything, comments, please leave them down below. Make sure to like and subscribe if you want to see more of these types of videos. And just in general, thank you so much. Happy flying. May the 4th be with you, because it is Star Wars Day today. I really wanted to put some red propellers on here. I have some tri blades that I really want to try out, because that was going to be another mod I was considering, but I don't have a prop cutter that I trust right now, so I wasn't able to do that for this video. But I wanted to do this whole Vader theme over here, so that it'd be tied into the 4th for May 4th. But may the 4th be with you. Happy flying, and thank you.
Come on. Come on. Yeah.